Today I'm talking about the ripple effect and how it can and will change your life, whether you want it to or not, or whether you know about it or not. All you really need to know is this. Where you end up in life ultimately comes down to the small decisions we make every day. Now keep this in mind because I want to show you right now, you're forced to dramatically change your life. You actually learn a valuable new skill that you can use as a tool in other areas of your life to improve a situation. Be it relationships, health, money, blah, 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 blah. Doesn't matter. You can use this universally across your life. It kind of works like this. So you have a decision to make, and I mean, you can smoke weed today and for the rest of your life, or you can quit weed right now or tomorrow, and it might not seem like a monumental decision to you at this time. And you've probably been through the process 600 times before. But have you ever stopped to think about what causes you to make the decisions that you do? What is it that influences your thought process? And what is it that will change your decisions in the future? Now, if you've tried to quit weed more than once before and you ended up stoned anyway, regardless of that decision, what was it that made you smoke weed that time as opposed to sometime in the future when you know you're going to follow through and finally quit weed, right? Well, the answer is your feelings or your emotions. Okay, if you are human, your behavior is based on your feelings, and so is your decisions. Everybody just wants more pleasure and less pain, but your actual decision and what drives your behavior is always emotions. So it becomes pretty obvious. If you want to change this, and that is what is controlling it, you need to change that. And in this case, it's your emotions. Well, how do you change your emotions? Your emotions are actually determined by your perception of whatever it is you're making a decision about, or whatever it is that you want to change in your life. So what you need to do is, if you want to be able to quit weed, you need to change your paradigm or your perception of quitting weed. And I'll show you why right now. So what happens is this. You want to quit weed, and you kind of have a certain perception of what quitting weed means to you. Most likely because you've done it before and you've had problems with it. And what that does is that creates certain emotions about the whole experience you're about to go through, even before you get there. So you've made the decision already, but then the real decision comes up. This is what we call a brick wall. And it's the time that matters, basically. It's the time where you've already said you're going to quit weed to yourself, and then you've run out of marijuana. The day that you said you were going to quit has now come up, or your friends got marijuana, throwing it in the face, wanting you to smoke weed, and the whole time you know that you've promised yourself you're going to quit weed. So someone that first comes to this decision, or to this point, probably won't recognize it for what it is. And they already have been smoking weed, they decided they were going to quit, they still have emotion attached to marijuana. So when someone flashes it in their face or they feel like it or whatever the hell happens, they're going to choose to smoke weed. But what that does is it enforces a negative paradigm. It forces a bad perception about what you've done with marijuana. So what happens is you continue going with your life, and this could be any time period. It really could be. It could be, you know, it could be 1 week, it could be 3 years, right? It doesn't really matter how long you continue with marijuana culture, but eventually you're going to come back to wanting to quit marijuana again. So what happens this time is you say, all right, I'm really going to quit weed, and now you see it as a much bigger hurdle. So you've actually got stronger emotions attached to it. And with the stronger emotions, you come to this point again. The brick wall is now bigger, and not only that, but you can't see as well what it's like to quit marijuana, because now you've got emotion attached to trying to quit weed and failing because you've done it before. You've enforced in your mind, you've internalized the fact that you can't quit weed because it's difficult. You've been through it before, and you're starting back here with too much emotion attached to what's going on. Okay, and you don't really feel it. You're not super emotional. None of that sort of thing happens, but it's just very mild, but it continues to happen. And the only problem with it is people get so used to doing this, and they keep going this way. And the problem with the whole thing is that people get so used to just bypassing the decision. You know, like this isn't even here anymore. So what is the solution? So we know we need to make our perception of quitting marijuana good. So how we do that is when you come to this point, crunch time, when you've hit a brick wall and someone's got it in your face and you've already said you're going to quit weed, but you know, you said that before. And you've got the option here of smoking weed. It's very strong in your mind. You've done it 100 times before. Why wouldn't you do it again this time? Well, the reason that you're not going to do it again and the reason you're going to gain a lot of strength is because quitting weed, instead of, having a short view of what's going on, we're going to really open up what quitting weed actually means so that you've got many different alternative routes to actually get there, and it's much more exciting. You can see a lot further. So once you hit this point once, and all it means is getting through the brick wall. You've been offered it and you said no, or you really had some strong cravings and you overcame it anyway. Or you couldn't sleep all night because you didn't have marijuana and it was the first night without it and you went without anyway. And that enforces a positive paradigm. And this is where you start getting some power. Because then you can go on with your life. And next time this comes up, you've now got positive emotions attached to it. So you can go straight over the whole thing because you already know that this is much stronger than that is. And remember, this doesn't all happen in your head. It's not a logical decision. It's all in your heart. So you have to be able to enforce it with a positive experience so that the emotions are good next time. You'll still have hurdles, brick walls, challenges in life, but when you look back at the challenges you used to have, like now, they won't seem like a big deal at all. You'll be thinking, what was all the fuss about? Even when it comes to quitting weed. Regular weed smokers that quit marijuana properly usually end up business owners, public speakers, entrepreneurs, or experts in their chosen field, basically because they love what they do for a living and they get pretty good at it. They seem to sort of understand that life is short and if you want something, you need to do it now. And all this change really happens first week when you quit weed if you harness it. But I mean quitting properly, not just for the week. If you know what I'm talking about and you would like some assistance quitting marijuana properly, remember you can reach me anytime at seb@quitweed.com, or alternatively, you can check out the complete guide. Quit Marijuana, the complete guide, is the leading quit marijuana product on the internet. Inside has everything you should expect when quitting and real strategies on how to deal with each one. If you want to get serious about your addiction, check it out.